This video is brought to you by PrizePicks. Well, I can almost guarantee you that this is going to be a 2-video story at least, because the way that this is dropping for the amount of news that it is strange. But the news is this is coming from very, very, very qualified and reliable sources here from Ian Rappaport, Tom Pelissero, and Adam Schefter all teamed up on this one. So there's some truth. There's not just some truth to it. This is real. The Browns are finalizing a trade to send Myles Garrett to the Los Angeles Rams for Jarrett versus a 2027 first-round pick and other draft compensation still being negotiated. Sources tell NFL Network's Ian Rappaport and Tom Pelissero, ESPN's Adam Schefter. Now, they did say there are picks to be named later, right? That is part of this. I know a lot of people are going to hear me complain about the draft compensation and throw that in my face. Unless they get at least one other first-round pick, I am very underwhelmed by what they brought back here for Myles Garrett. Jarrett versus very good player, maybe even a Pro Bowl caliber player, right? I'm not trying to deny Jarrett versus usefulness, but is Jarrett versus in a first-round pick going to close the gap for Myles Garrett? No, I don't even think that's remotely close. I got a lot of thoughts on this. Right. I got a lot of thoughts on the draft compensation. I got a lot of thoughts on the suddenness to which Myles Garrett in Cleveland has ended. And I'm mostly bummed out about this. But real quick, let's go to our sponsor, PrizePicks. PrizePicks is a fun way to earn cash while you watch your favorite teams. No complex betting rules, just pick more or less on a few player stats and lock in your lineup. Here are my picks for this upcoming season, AFC North edition. Jimmy Bernard, I have less than 475. This has to do with volume available in Pittsburgh's offense. Quincy Judkins, I have over 975. Browns improved line. I think the run game is going to be better with it. Chase Brown, under 900 yards. Joe Burrow equals less rushing yards usually for the Bengals offense. Mark Andrews, more than 475 yards. Lamar's going to need a safety blanket. Check to see if PrizePicks is available in your state. You could follow me on the app at Quinn_C to see all my lineups. Download the PrizePicks app today. Play $5 and get $50 in lineup to download the app using the link in the description. All right, so we've been hearing rumors about this, and, I didn't think when the season ended and Myles Garrett broke that sack record, that be the last time that we see him, at least for a while, in a Cleveland Browns uniform, but it looks like that image is going to be the last time we see Myles in this in the Cleveland Browns uniform. Now, here's the weird thing about this story. It is breaking that they are finalizing a trade. AB was doing some kind of charity event today where he's going to be asked about this trade, and he answered some questions about it. We'll put that video here.
Real quick, obviously we wanted today really to be about the Browns Foundation and everything that we're doing, the good work that we're doing there. Not naive that there's a lot in the social media sphere regarding Myles. Nothing is final at this point. We are in discussions of a potential transaction, including him. I'll have a lot more to say about it once it is final, if it does become final, and I'll discuss the details at that point. But we are in negotiations. We're hopeful that we close something here in the next several hours, but nothing's final right yet. So, like I said, I'll have an update for you guys maybe as soon as tomorrow when there's resolution. All right.
So very awkward timing for the Cleveland Browns. I would have to imagine that, and this is just my thinking here, this story was leaked out by Myles Garrett's people to kind of force Cleveland to accept the deal. You know what I mean? That's what it feels like, right? Because why would the Browns leak out that they're about to trade a franchise player like Myles Garrett? I mean, the best player on the team, the best player since coming back in '99. Why would they leak that out on the same day that they're doing the charity event? The rollout of this is strange, right? This does not feel like it was like the Brown, like something about this does not feel like the Browns did this of their own complete free will, right? It feels like their hand is being forced here. And it feels like this was announced at this point to kind of force something through. Now, I don't think the Rams would do that because the Rams ultimately are relying on the Browns to cooperate with them, right? The Browns obviously wouldn't do that because this is horrible timing. So who would do that? I'll let you answer that question for yourself, but I think it's very clear why this story is coming out the way it is. Now it's messy. And look, I don't think this is going to be all done, wrapped up in this one video. There's probably going to have to be follow-up videos, and we're going to talk about the situation for a very long time because, again, this is breaking in a very strange way, right? Usually a deal like this does not get dropped until it's official, right? We got Jordan Schultz talking about the negotiations are still in place. We got Andrew Berry talking about the negotiations still being in play. What trade like this have we seen where it gets broken like this? This is strange. This is a blockbuster trade, and to have it announced before everything's agreed to is insane. Now, the Browns are trying to get more draft capital, but man, if they're only getting one first-round pick for Myles Garrett and Jarrett Verse, that's not enough. That's not even close to enough. I've given Andrew Berry a lot of credit for a lot of moves he's made. I think he's a really stern negotiator. He makes good trades. I don't know if this is going to be one of them. And this is one of the most important ones. I will see what the situation was, if Myles was holding the team hostage behind the scenes, whatever was going on. But, man, a first and Jarrett Verse just is not enough. We'll talk about Jarrett Verse. Let's talk about Jarrett Verse. Yeah, because, look, Green Bay last year for Micah Parsons got 2 first-round picks and Kenny Clark, a Pro Bowl player. And, by the way, that trade destroyed the Dallas Cowboys defense. The Browns aren't even getting back what the Packers got for Micah Parsons, or what the Packers gave up for Micah Parsons there. Like, there's no world where I'm happy with this compensation. And keep in mind, like, you're trading him to the Rams. The Rams are going to be contenders. The Rams are going to be, playing late into playing late into January, maybe even in February. That's going to be like pick 30. And we're only getting one of those? I don't know, man. I don't know. There were a million ways I thought that this could play out. I didn't think this was one of them. This is one of the weaker ways it could have played out. I thought Andrew was going to, if he was going to trade Myles, it would have to be a deal he couldn't refuse. This very much feels like a deal he could refuse. We'll see what breaks as this story goes on because this is a developing story. Remember, the trade is not finalized yet. Part of me is hoping that, if this is all they can give for Myles, that they just don't do that. Like, this is a bad trade, like straight up. It's just not enough for Myles Garrett. Again, Jarrett Verse, good player. Let's go through Jarrett Verse's resume and talk about him. I think the reason Jarrett Verse makes sense for the Cleveland Browns on some level is that he's 25 years old, right? Myles Garrett is about 30, about to be 31. Jarrett Verse is 25. The Browns' window is probably to be good in a couple of years. Jarrett Verse will be 27 for that window. Myles Garrett will be 33. Now, my question is, I don't think it's going to be a debate whether 33-year-old Myles Garrett is going to be better than 27-year-old Jarrett Verse. I'm pretty confident that 33-year-old Myles Garrett would be a better football player than 27-year-old Jarrett Verse. Is what you're going to get compensation-wise going to make up for that gap? If it's only one first-round pick, you got to get real lucky with the other picks for it to make sense. This is not me trying to shit on Jarrett Verse. He's a good player. Pro Bowl potential, but we're trading the greatest defensive player of his era. You know what I mean? Like, I hope this isn't a reflection. I hope people don't come in here and thinking I hate Jarrett Verse. It's not that. But we're trading somebody who just had 23 sacks in the season for a guy who has 14 career sacks, right? We're trading a guy who's the best player of his generation for somebody who might not even be the best edge in their draft class. Like, it's not disrespect. It's just like, he's a good player. If we had traded Denzel Ward for Jarrett Verse, maybe I'd be more excited. But trading Myles Garrett for Jarrett Verse in the first, it's underwhelming. I don't blame fans for being upset at this, right? And then, like, I feel bad for Jarrett Verse because he's going to have to live in the shadow of Myles Garrett. Like, everything Jarrett Verse does is going to be done under the shadow of he's the Myles Garrett replacement. And that's not fair to put on him. He's a good player. He's not going to replace Myles Garrett. He's just not. There's no world where he is good enough to replace Myles Garrett. That's just not going to happen. He shouldn't be put in this position. But when you only get one additional first-round pick, and I'm hoping that more first-round compensation is involved in this, but if you only get one first-round pick in addition to Jarrett Verse, that's the position he has to be in. This isn't some Godfather deal that's going to make it incredibly easy for the Browns to trade for Arch Manning next year or Dante solve their quarterback problem. This is just an extra first-round pick. You got an extra first-round pick for trading from 2 to 5 last year in the draft. And now you're telling me the greatest defensive player of his generation, the best edge rusher of my lifetime, can't even go for a similar price to Micah Parsons? I know there are a million GMs right now seeing this compensation and going, that's all it took? I bet I'd be punching air right now if I were Houston. I'd be punching air right now if I were Philadelphia. This is all it took? A young player and a first-round pick and some whenever they say more compensation to be announced, it's usually 3rd, 4th, 5th-round picks. That's all it took? I've been very happy with what the Browns have done this offseason. I've been positive on the Todd Monken hire. I've liked what they've done in free agency, in the draft. This is bad. Maybe I'm just reacting to it, and this is my first reaction to it. Maybe I'll sit on this for a couple of hours and come back to y'all and talk about it again. But my initial reaction is this is an awful trade, man. I can't sugarcoat it. I can't make this and wrap this in a nicer bow than it is. It's bad. Because at least when we were staring down the barrel of playing either an inexperienced quarterback or Deshaun Watson again in 2026, we could say to ourselves, well, at least we got Myles Garrett in the defense. Now we don't got that, right? And look, Jarrett Verse is a good player. Jarrett Verse is not Myles Garrett. On levels, it's so ridiculously not Myles Garrett. Like, Myles Garrett was so good that teams would change their entire game plan just to deal with him. That's not what's going to happen with Jarrett Verse. So the life of everybody else on the defense got a lot more difficult. Again, I would love to know what motivated this specific trade, whether Myles was threatening to hold out. I would have dealt with it if he wanted to hold out. I want to know why this trade is breaking, why they're still finalizing it, a trade of this caliber. this story does not feel like it's done yet, but boy, what we're hearing from it, it sounds like, and I'm sorry, my apologies, but Cleveland sounds like they're getting screwed here, man. Like, this is bad. This is a bad trade. I can't sit here and get excited about Jarrett Verse and the first round pick for Myles Garrett. And again, Jarrett Verse is a good player. He's going to have moments, and Jarrett Verse fans are going to tweet at me during those moments, oh, but you didn't like it when the Browns traded for him. It's not because of Jarrett Verse. I want to stress this. It's not because I don't think Jarrett Verse is a good player. It's because you traded Myles Garrett, and all you got back was Jarrett Verse and first round pick. And nobody before this trade happened was saying Jarrett Verse and a first round pick would be enough to get Myles Garrett. On a baseline. We know there are going to be extra picks added, probably a 5th round pick swap here or there. But we can't get 2 first round picks straight up and Jarrett Verse for Myles Garrett just off the rip. We still got to haggle for everything else. That's crazy to me. That's crazy. I thought Andrew Berry would get a better price than this. I hope Andrew Berry gets a better price than this. But if this is what he gets, this is a failure. This is a absolute failure. Hopefully there's some other things that they got lined up. Maybe this is setting them up to go after Sorsby or whatever it is. But man, this is a hard pill to swallow. This is one of the rougher pills to swallow for Browns fans that I've ever witnessed. I don't know, man. I might go live later on, to be honest with y'all, because like we got to talk about this shit. Once the trade goes final, I think I might go live because this is crazy. This is bad. I'm sorry. I wish I had better analysis than that. I wish there was a way I could look and find an immediate silver lining. And maybe if they got 3 first back and Jarrett Verse, I might be more excited. But man, 1 first and Jarrett Verse, I thought that was a typo when I saw it. I'm like, there's got to be another first involved there, surely. That's not enough. That can't be enough. I ain't even going to tell y'all have a good day, have an even better night. I'll talk to y'all again probably later today. Whoa. Yeah, man. Yeah, I don't like it. Y'all have a good one.